Hello and welcome back to our video series on your PLR makeover. In this video, you're going to learn the importance of the product title and some tips on what to think about when coming up with a new title for your one-of-a-kind, soon-to-be, newly created ebook. Just like naming your newborn baby, this is something that should not be taken lightly. Your title can be the difference between your product being fantastic or the product being a flop. This is the source file. This is one I've already edited a little bit, but this is the source file that came with our ebook package, and I've already downloaded and installed the OpenOffice software suite, and that's what I'm going to be using, not the Microsoft Word. So if you are currently a Word user, well, you might want to go ahead and try that OpenOffice, or just try to follow along as much as you can, because there's some subtle differences in the two softwares. Well, besides the fact that one's free and the other one isn't. But let's go ahead and right-click on this, and come on down here to Open With. Naturally, you will probably have different options than what I have, but the S writer is what I'm looking for, and in doing so, it will open up here. Now, we're not going to get into the editing of our product here in this video. That'll be coming up soon, so just hold your horses. For the time being, though, we're working with the title. And one of the things that you want to consider here is try to keep your title keyword rich if at all possible, because the domain name you're about to get sooner or later will or should be as closely related to your title as possible. Ideally, in a perfect world, it will be exactly your title with a .com at the end of it. So since that doesn't always happen, but because somebody else might already have that, but if at all possible, you want to consider keywords whenever you are coming up with your title. That and good imagination come in really handy. However, for some of us that are lacking that imagination department, well, there are some online tools that can help us out there. And one of the things you want to consider in the title, in addition to the keywords, is power words, or what I call anyway power words. And these are items or particular words that evoke certain reactions or emotions from your visitors. And ideally, you want these emotions to trigger that visitor to open up your product, to either make a purchase of your product, for one, eventually, but once they do, you want them to be drawn into your product so that they can read it and learn and absorb the information you're providing them. That way they know what kind of quality you've got and will be more apt to purchase additional products from you in the future. At least that's the goal. So consider keywords and power words whenever you're coming up with your title. Now, if you, like me, lack in that imagination department and need a little bit of help with those power words, well, let's check out a few tools we can go online with. And here is one. This is at, let me get to the beginning here, Scribd.com, an awesome site. I mean, you'd be surprised what kind of cool stuff they got on here. Basically, it's a deposit or a repository of white pages or PDFs, if you will. And this one here, and you can see the URL. Can't see all of it here, that's why I'm putting it on the screen here. But you just come here and click on the download. You want it in plain text. That way you can highlight, copy, and paste those words, because we got 1,078 online auction words and phrases that triggers and sell like crazy, because that's exactly what we're looking for. But we're going to get to this here in just a second as far as what we're going to do with all those words. But another one is bigbooster.com, and again, here's the URL for here, and you've got the 7 most powerful marketing words, according to them anyway. And again, power words, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, these are words like how-to or blowout or blueprint or roadmap or extreme, and list, for example. These are always hot. 10 ways to do this, or the 7 best things, and so on. So these are things that you want to, if they don't come to mind immediately, well, the more you see these and use these, then the more they're going to be stuck into your mind, the more they're going to be freely available whenever you think about a particular power word phrase or a particular headline you're going to be putting in your sales copy. So to maintain a good solid list and a growing list of these power words, let's head on over to Google Docs. And if you haven't got a Gmail account or a Google account, why? That would be my only question. Why? It's free. There's a lot of bells and whistles to this stuff. Get you a Gmail account, for crying out loud. Doesn't cost you anything, but it's just a few minutes to get one. And you can get a gazillion of them. I don't believe there's a limit on them. Anyway, this is one of the Gmail accounts that I have, and you just go to docs.google.com. I would go ahead and sign into your Gmail account first, and that makes things a little bit easier. But anywho, once you get here, you go here to New, and lo and behold, we have spreadsheet, we've got document, which by the way is just like Microsoft Word or OpenOffice Doc. You've got presentation, which is kind of sort of like the PowerPoint, and spreadsheet, kind of like Excel. So these are all free and web apps. In other words, you don't download anything, you don't have to install anything. These are all online. And a lot of stuff you can do with this. So let's head on back over here to here, and I've already highlighted a lot of these, actually all of the A's. And just right click, and I know that's out of the screen, but copying, got all that on my clipboard now. Head on back over to Google Docs and want to open up a new spreadsheet. And right here, what I've done here is I've got this first bar, the first row here, to remain static. So if I title this, then these will remain as I can scroll up and down. And all you got to do for this is right here on the far left, because yours originally will look like this. So all you got to do is come over here where you get the pointers, the 4 pointers, left click, hold, and drag down one bar, or as many bars as you want, but anyway, that's what I'm doing. And then that way, this will remain. And then once you save, and of course you can adjust your auto save by clicking on here. That's just one way of doing it. But again, as with that first row being static, you can scroll down and the title will remain there rather than it being scrolling along with the rest of the items. Now remember, I've got all those words in my clipboard. Just highlight or left click on the first cell in this row, and you can right click on your mouse to paste, but it won't work. I mean, go ahead and try it if you want, just for all the doubters out there. But I don't know why, for some reason, it'll give you an error message down here saying, ain't gonna work. Got to use your keyboard shortcuts. So for that, you just hold your control key down on your keyboard and hit the letter V as in Victor to paste. And it will automatically put in the appropriate number of cells, as you can see here, so on and so forth. And then you just do the same thing with the B's. If you scroll on down here, highlight all the B's and the C's and the D's. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time initially, but you're going to find this information invaluable as time goes on, because you're going to be able to use this not just for retitling your PLR products, but whenever you get into writing your own sales copy, you're going to find these nuggets of knowledge to be invaluable. I mean, so as you come up with additional, or you see additional wow words on somebody else's sales copy or somebody else's title, before you forget it, go ahead and open up your docs and add it to your list. And then all you have to do right here is sort. You can go right here and A to Z, which is first to last or last to first, and it will automatically adjust those accordingly. Bing, bang, boom. And then you just come on up here to File and Save and Close. Of course, you're going to want to give it a name first, and then just name it hot words or wow words or power words or whatever, and that we've got an ongoing growing list. So that's pretty much it as far as the power words. I do want to show you, one other thing too, the thesauruses. This is a tool that you just cannot live without, or should not live without. If, for example, you have design, because one of the words in our title is design, and since we're not going to be changing the content, just the title, we want to maintain the structure of our title, just different words. So, for example, I might want to change out the word design for construction or some other word. That's just the only one that comes to mind. Or internet business owners. I might want to change one or all of those out. Maintaining the same gist of the title, just different words. That's where the sources can come in at. All you got to do is up here at the top, put in the word you want to get like words, words of a similar meaning. And you can just come on down here, and who knows, some of these like words might also be some of those power words that you have in your Google Docs. So after you've gone through that, you've got some power words in mind, you've got some like words and the synonyms using the thesauruses, and you've come up with a few different titles. For example, Web Construction Guide for the Internet Marketer. That's a bit of a mouthful. Web Construction Blueprint for the Online Business Owner. how-to guide for web design, the 4 parts of A to Z web design. I'm kind of throwing in some combinations of power words there too. So whenever you come up with your particular title, then you want to go ahead and add that to the graphics, and then go ahead and head on over to one of the domain name registrars, like for example Namecheap.com. Don't forget the coupon, and do a search for an exact match of your title. That's the gold. I mean, that's the idea. And then, of course, if that's already taken, then try to stay in the same ballpark as the exact title. And don't forget, try to stick with the .com. Try to stay away from the .net, .info, .mes, any of those other ones. Stick with the .coms if at all possible. And that's pretty much it as far as the title makeover. That's going to bring us to the end of this video. I hope you learned something. Thank you much for watching. Have a great day.